It's been a month since our last free agency video. And the reason we did that is because there's new stuff happening almost every single day, especially once free agency first breaks out. So instead of spamming you guys a sub box with videos every single day, what we're going to go ahead and do is we are just giving you the ultimate NFL free agency wrap up. So if you missed anything, you want to know if your team made any big additions, we got it all right here. Let's hit the intro.
Allied Rivals.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the one and only Allied Rivals podcast. My name is A.J. Herschel, and I'm right here with my main man, Caedmon Bauer. How's it going, dude?
Oh, I'm doing good, AJ. It's been just kind of a normal day, school day, normal after school, but we've been putting out some more content than normal, which has been a lot of fun. I mean, the other day we just had we did 4 NBA videos in one day.
Yeah.
So and they were all 7 minutes or less, but that was a blast. So I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Ankle injury is still kind of a pain. You never notice how much you use your feet until they actually get injured. Like if you mess up your hand or your shoulder or something, you can kind of do everything with one foot. I'm hopping around the house like a VeggieTales character if I don't got my crutches or whatever. So, we're working through it. I might have to we were talking earlier, I might have to get some therapy on it because it's the same foot I hurt every single time. My left foot is just, I don't know. Iron Man must have infused it with something or other because that foot is just never gone out. But
man.
Yeah, especially you mentioned that we talked about our NBA playlist. If any of you guys are basketball fans, we went over every single matchup for the NBA playoffs. That playlist is on the main channel right there. So if you're interested in those, you can check out all our predictions, little previews for every single series in the first round. We already had just a crazy start. Warriors are rolling. Celtics Nets looks like it's going to be the best series of all time and a million other things. But we're here to talk about football. So, Cade, you ready to go ahead and get started?
Let's do it, man.
All right. So we're going to break this down into 4 sections for you guys. After this, chapters are going to be in the description for you guys to find out if you just want to skip to a certain player or to a certain section if you're just looking for trades. So our 4 sections, we're going to start with our updates on franchise tags, re-signings, extensions. We're going to probably go through those a little quicker because that's just status quo has stayed the same. Second, we're going to go to our biggest free agent additions. We're not going to go over every single one because there's 200 of them. We're going to go over the biggest ones that happened over the past month. So stuff like Russell Wilson, Amari Cooper going to the Browns. We already covered that. This is of all the stuff that we haven't talked about yet. Third section will be on the trades. There aren't a crazy amount of massive trades. We're going to go over the biggest ones that happened. And our final section is going to be the best free agents left. So the people who haven't gotten signed, we know we're a week away from the draft. We'll just give a quick thought on where they could go, where it could be a good landing location for them after a lot of teams have made most of their signings. Let's get into it, man. Number 1, first section, franchise tags, re-signings, extensions. Obviously, the biggest one out of all of them is Patrick Carr, the Ravens fullback, signing a 3-year extension. One of the best that Kyle used to check, and Caedmon's going to be please stop talking about fullbacks. So Patrick, I see you, man. But the actual biggest one probably is Chris Godwin extending his deal with the Bucs for 3 more years. We didn't exactly see this coming. We thought after the franchise tag for the 2nd straight year, maybe he's just going 1 more. But he's back and for the long term for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and I think the big reason is, spoiler alert, Tom Brady is back. That gets that one out of the way.
He couldn't have announced that he was coming back. He announced it the day after we did our video on free agency, the last one. You couldn't have waited, just a little earlier? Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think Chris Godwin must have known that Brady was going to sign. Otherwise, I don't think he would have. I don't think he wants to play on a team that has a new quarterback or uncertainty about the quarterback position. When you just had Tom Brady as your quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with Bruce Arians stepping down too, Todd Bowles is stepping up. Tom Brady being the consistent force on the offense, along with Leonard Fournette re-signing with the Bucs for 2 more years. Ronald Jones didn't, but Fournette is back. The Bucs are just looking to reload. Keisha Everett in the comment section saying Gronk might retire, which is true.
True that.
But to me, it feels a little bit like a last dance kind of thing. Like everybody's coming back for one more run. They got most of the people on defense and offense. Gronk, Ronald Jones, and Ndamukong Suh, probably the 3 that haven't either A, made a decision, or B, have gone to another team. Those are the biggest ones left. But the Bucs, Brady's back, man. They're going for a Super Bowl.
Yep, for sure. Well, another one on the opposite side of the ball, big deal. Xavier Howard signing the extension with the Dolphins. Man, we've just seen him play so well, especially last year. Just he was like up there in the picks, and the year before he's up there in the picks. I mean, I feel like he's just got great vision, and that's like one of his biggest strengths. He's always knowing where the ball is going to go. Yeah. So Dolphins got to be happy. I mean, they had a stupid amount of money that had to sign him.
Yep. The Dolphins, we'll talk about that. We get some more free agents, but they spent their money like nobody's business. And locking up Xavier is huge. 10 picks 2 years ago, 5 last year because quarterbacks aren't throwing to him anymore. Absolute rock. But then also talking about cornerbacks, Denzel Ward signed like a 5-year, $100-something million extension, and he's the highest paid quarterback in football now. Another defense, Dolphins, and also the Cleveland Browns, Denzel Ward is on. Absolutely fearsome. Wouldn't want to face him whenever we're throwing the football to him. There's a reason both of those units have some of the best defenses in the league over the past 2 years. Yeah,
for sure. Well, this might not be quite as big of a deal, but Jameis Winston's still with the Saints.
Yeah.
I guess they're going with it. Personally, I don't know exactly where they are in the draft, but I'd personally take the draft and get a quarterback or try to move up and get a quarterback, which maybe they still will put a rookie behind Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It'll be interesting. They signed Andy Dalton to be the backup, by the way. They signed him to be the backup for Jameis Winston. And as we know, this isn't the deepest quarterback draft ever. Not saying there aren't great prospects. Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis. My personal favorite, not necessarily the best prospect, but my favorite player to watch out of the ones coming out, Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati. Loved watching him. There's no really huge consensus number one, like you have to draft this guy. And so for New Orleans, especially with Sean Payton going down, keeping Jameis would be huge. And speaking of keeping quarterbacks, Derek Carr extends for 3 more years. Probably one of the reasons we'll talk about in a little bit. But he's been the face of the Raiders for it's going to be basically a decade at this point almost, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. Well, I think we just finished through these re-signings real quick. Cordell Patterson is the entire Falcons team.
Literally.
Sum up.
If they didn't re-sign him, I was gonna fight. I was gonna fight Atlanta if they didn't re-sign him.
Okay. Rasul Douglas signed with the Pack for 3 more years. I'm really happy about that. He's great.
Yep.
And James Conner is sticking with Arizona for 3 more years. So that's just gonna help their offense, I guess. If he's healthy.
Yeah. His career got completely rejuvenated
AJ, should we
in
move
Arizona.
on to our free agent additions?
Yeah, I think we absolutely should. And before we do, just talking about Connor, like him coming back.
Let's move on to our biggest free agent additions. Okay, Von Miller to start it off. Von Miller signed a massive deal with the Bills, 6 years, $120 million. And I'm going to just kind of tie this right in with Bobby Wagner signing 5 years for only $50 million with the Rams. Yeah. So Von Miller goes away, which means the Rams have to sign someone to keep that front 7 top tier. So they get veteran Bobby Wagner for less than 2 times less than half the amount Von Miller signed for.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this, AJ?
It's crazy. With Von Miller, for one, he's going to be there basically for the rest of his life. He does have a possible out, I believe, in 3 years if he doesn't want to stay in Buffalo, but they need this kind of edge rusher for the Bills. They have a great secondary, but having somebody who can get to the quarterback, they can win a Super Bowl. We all know the Bills have the star power to win a Super Bowl, and getting Von Miller is just, they're trying to get that last piece to be able to push him just a little farther. And, of course, Bobby Wagner does something completely different than Von Miller. Von Miller gets at the quarterback. Bobby Wagner will tackle anybody who gets farther than a yard past the line of scrimmage. He was stuck in Seattle, unfortunately, on a team that is in rebuild mode at this point. And now he goes on the reigning Super Bowl champions. Like, the Rams just have money to give out to everybody. And we don't even know if Aaron Donald's coming back or not, but let's assume he does. You've got, like, consistent. It's one of the most stacked defenses in football. Bobby Wagner, Aaron Donald, and Jalen Ramsey are consistent every year all pros. If they don't win all pro, they're like the third best at their position for the year. That's stacked.
Yep, for sure. Yep, Rams and the Bills both got great deals in my opinion. Let's move on, AJ. This is probably going to make you a little bit sad to see one of the most underrated receivers in football, Allen Robinson, leaving the Bears, trying to find a team that is going to give him what he deserves, which is a good quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. And he gets a great one in Matthew Stafford. So I'm not as sad as I thought. Because actually, I wasn't sad at all for this. I'll say that. Because I love Allen Robinson, everything he did for Chicago, right? But he's about 30 years old at this point. He's not here for the rebuild in Chicago. And now he gets to go to the Rams. He gets Matthew Stafford as quarterback, and he doesn't have to carry this offense on his back because they have a solid run game normally. I don't know what happened at the end of last year, of course, but great running backs. He gets to play opposite Offensive Player of the Year, Cooper Kupp, and that's just an incredibly lethal duo. He's locked up for 3 more years. Absolutely. I think it's a great move for A-Rob, for sure. For sure. I'm going to love seeing him there. I miss him, but I'm going to love seeing him in L.A.
Yep.
Let's go. We got a couple of comments right here. Keisha Heffron says, "What do you think about Baker feeling disrespected?" We'll cover that in a little bit when we get to the trade section. But Jaden Kingsley says he's rooting for the Steelers because of Trubisky, who just signed a 2-year deal with Pittsburgh. Cade, this surprise you a little bit?
No, not really. It's Mitch Trubisky. He's not going to start. I'm pretty.
He is going to. Who else are they going to have start? Who did they sign? Somebody like, was it Tyrod as their backup or something? I don't know,
man. I'm not trusting Trubisky. Okay, I don't even know at this point.
All right, look.
Don't you think they'd rather draft someone and play a rookie instead of have them sit under Mitch Trubisky?
I would not. I wouldn't have them sit. I think that if they do draft a quarterback, I think Malik Willis would work really well for Pittsburgh's offense. Give them a nice dual threat. First of all, you're coming off of Big Ben, and then second off, it's not the greatest quarterback draft ever. To me, it's not letting him sit behind Trubisky. It's letting him learn the offense for a year. Is the biggest thing to me. He gets reps with the offensive line. You don't have to give him every single starter rep this year. Instead, he gets taken the year not to learn necessarily from Trubisky, but to learn from the rest of the team is the thing if they draft a quarterback for me. And on top of that, Trubisky on the Bills looked really good. I'm not going to sit here and exaggerate or whatever, but he looked solid. Like to earn who's he got? He's going to have Deontay, he's going to have Claypool, and he's going to have Najee Harris. He's not going to need to carry this team. I think it's a fine move for Pittsburgh. Keisha Heffron says Pittsburgh's just going to be bad for a year and then maybe get someone like Bryce Young. I mean, depending on how Bryce looks, Pittsburgh's going to have to trade up for that one more than likely. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to be that bad. They still have a great defense and they have good pieces on offense. I don't think this is like
I'm going to agree with Keisha Heffron on this. I think Pittsburgh is going to be bad for a year if they do start Mitch Trubisky.
Wow.
Moving on. Chandler Jones signs with the Raiders. Was kind of
as if their defense couldn't get any better.
Right. J.C. Jackson to the Chargers. DJ Chark signed a deal of
1 year, $10 million. He's going to be in Detroit. He's going to be in Detroit, which great for fantasy. I'll say that much. But other than that,
not much. Justin Reed is replacing Tyrann Mathieu. You can't replace Tyrann Mathieu. Don't even get AJ started on this.
I know Justin Reed had a good year. I know he had a good year,
but he is not a Honey Badger.
I know he's young.
All
Anyway,
right. Well, here's what I really want to talk about because
go ahead.
I am sad but happy at the same time. So Darius Smith had to go. I feel like he's so good.
Had to,
but he's so much money. And since we got Devondre Campbell for way less, even though it's a 5-year extension, I mean, he played All-Pro last year, and I mean, he's crazy.
Right.
He's crazy. And I feel like something I noticed is that Darius Smith is more one-dimensional than I thought. You know, he's not. He's really way only good on the quarterback and the pass rush. He is not nearly as good on run defense, which that's where kind of Devondre Campbell steps in. So then the hope is that Preston Smith stays healthy, because then those two together, hopefully we got something working there.
Notice you never would have heard Caedmon say any of this had Za'Darius stayed in Green Bay at all.
No, I have said that. Za'Darius is just a lot of sacks.
We've seen it
year after year. He's just a bunch of sacks.
Yeah.
He doesn't have all the flying colors and the tackles.
Right. Yeah. And that's what Minnesota needs. They need a pass rusher.
Right.
They needed one. So.
And we need a guy that can stop the run, and that's Devondre Campbell. So it's a great move.
Christian Kirk, because you keep the status quo, you just don't add anything.
Don't even play around.
I'm just saying, because we're not talking about like you added somebody though. I'm not saying that it was a bad move extending Devondre. I think that was great, but this is still a net loss in terms of just players.
Okay, but now we have more experienced Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith, and Devondre Campbell. Moving on, Christian Kirk lands a massive 4-year deal in Jacksonville. Russell Gage, he left the Falcons. He was just done.
He's going to be real good in Tampa. He's going to be real good in Tampa.
Brown, he is going to be an amazing deep threat. It's going to be nasty. Randy Gregory,
that was mean.
Dallas, you're going to the Denver Broncos.
That was wrong. Right. That was the craziest contract thing I think I've ever seen in a minute. That was nuts.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody had it at ESPN NFL. He's going to sign with Dallas. And the next day it's like he signs with Denver because Dallas put something in his contract he didn't like.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, Ronald Jones is another, or is one of the few that's actually leaving the Bucs. Because Leonard Fournette's better. Why would you keep Rojo when you could have Leonard Fournette and Giovanni Bernard? So I
think because it was a money thing, because they had to extend Fournette. Yeah.
Right. Well, through these last ones, the Dolphins kind of done everything.
Dude,
I think we said already. They've just spent everything they had.
They have 6 running backs. They have 6 running backs. It's ridiculous.
They're going to use them all for different reasons.
I'm going to hate them. I'm never getting a Dolphins running back for fantasy again. Myles Gaskin, Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Salvin Ahmed, Phillip Lindsay, and I know I'm forgetting somebody else.
I'm telling you right now, Cedric Wilson will get the most fantasy points out of all of them.
Out of those 3, facts. Out of those 3, that's facts.
Yep. Stefan Gilmore is finding the Indianapolis Colts as his new hometown.
Dude, as if that defense couldn't get any better. That defense couldn't get any better.
It's like the defenders are separating themselves. Like it's like, oh, we got like these 10 up here, but then the rest of them are like down there. It's like everyone good is going to those 10, and everyone not needed is going down.
And Indy had money to burn, so getting Stefan Gilmore is absolutely massive.
Yeah, for sure. Keisha Heffron is excited about Rojo going to the Chiefs.
Should be a solid ad. Yeah, especially if CEH still has injury problems.
For sure. Last one, Juju Smith-Schuster is going to Kansas City.
1 year late, but he still made it.
And Marcus Valdes-Scantling.
Also going to KC.
I'm saying bye-bye.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Juju does, because he was best with Antonio Brown, with him as the Y and AB as the X. And so to me, I'm thinking, is Travis going to line up as the Z in the offense, but he'll be the one with the most targets, so that way Juju has somebody to play off of? Not necessarily because I think Juju works best when he's not the number one target. He's one of the best number twos in the league when he's healthy. So if Travis is going to be the main target this year with Tyreek gone, which we'll talk about, getting Juju as a 2, I think, is really good for Kansas City. And then you have Mecole and MVS just running deep posts and streak routes the entire game, fly routes the entire game.
For sure. Yeah, I'm wondering how MVS is going to do not having A-Rod throwing in the ball. I mean, he's still getting Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah.
So
he'll be
that's
fine.
Great.
He'll be fine.
I'm just wondering how they're going to use him. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be interesting. AJ, I think we should move on to our next section, which is the biggest trades.
This is probably the biggest section out of all of them.
Oh my goodness.
In terms of like importance.
Yeah.
There's not a ton of them, but like,
Well,
oh boy,
this one makes me the saddest of all of them.
You know what? Here, you just take it for a minute. Go ahead,
Devondre
get it out.
Adams gone. I'm sad. All right, but you know what? Okay, like it happened. I'm happy A-Rod stayed. That's really all I got. I mean, we needed the picks, I guess, and the Raiders had the money, and this opens up some stuff for us.
Mm-hmm.
It might force Rodgers to not just throw to one guy. That could be a plus. Or on the flip side, Rodgers might have the worst year of his career.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, especially for the Raiders. First of all, you're getting Carr and Adams back for the first time in years since college. And then second off, you traded a first, and do I think that this year for a team that's trying to compete for a division crown, that whatever first and second picks they would have gotten is going to be equal to Davante Adams? No. I know this is one of the best wide receiver drafts we've ever had. Don't get me wrong. It's incredible. But getting Davante Adams over a first and second, I think they got a great deal for that. At Green Bay, they're going to have to draft somebody a wide receiver because Lazard and who's left? Because MVS is gone too. So who's left? Lazard and
just got Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins, right? They signed Sammy Watkins to a 1-year deal.
Cobb, Robert Tonyan. I mean, we got Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in the backfield, so that's still huge. But we're going to have to sign maybe even one more free agent and then definitely one or two receivers in the draft.
Oh, yeah. Keisha Heffron's throwing slander at your Packers, though, saying they're going to be trash without Devontae. You got anything to say to that?
Don't even talk Packers. Chiefs fan? Yeah, don't even talk Chiefs fan. Like, not cool.
Hey, man. At least they signed multiple receivers. They took your receiver.
That's all right. We'll be fine. We have Aaron Rodgers, the 4th greatest quarterback of all time, on our team, throwing for us. And that brings us to Deshaun Watson traded to the Browns 5-year extension, and Baker Mayfield is feeling disrespected because, man, and listen to me here, say this right now, Baker Mayfield, you are not as good as Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel for Baker on one hand where they sign your 5th-year extension, which is your prove-it deal, basically, and then news about Deshaun breaks, and then one of my friends sent me a meme where it's a bunch of people just at a desk, and then all of them start running around like crazy as soon as Deshaun was available again. So they gave up basically their entire future, and with him and Njoku and Amari and Chubb and Hunt, they could take the division for sure this year. Baltimore's going to give them a challenge. Cincinnati's going to give them a challenge. They didn't exactly get an easy draw there. But it'll be interesting to see how Deshaun plays after a year of not playing football. I think that's the biggest thing. How rusty is he going to be coming out of the gate? That's the biggest thing to me. And Houston, this works out for Houston so well.
Yep, for sure. Devontae Parker will just keep moving these things along because there's so much here.
But this is the best thing New England. This is the best player New England signed this year, and somehow they don't have any money. After what happened in the playoffs, I was a little shocked they didn't do anything more. No offense to Devontae Parker, but they didn't get a big top 50 free agent, I'll say, I guess, in my opinion. I was a little shocked this was their biggest move.
I wanted Devontae Parker on the Packers. I felt like he could have been a solid veteran.
Yeah, that would have been good if he could stay healthy. Yeah.
Well, then we got the Titans.
Biggest steal of the offseason.
I think
Biggest
so.
steal.
I think so.
Sixth round?
Mm-hmm.
Sixth round? For a guy who gets like 1,000 yards a year or runs silky smooth routes to pair with A.J. Brown, a sixth? That's a steal.
I mean, I know the Rams don't have a lot of draft picks in the future, but like this is kind of a stretch, don't you think?
I don't know, man. I think this should have been at least a third. I get that he's coming off an ACL injury and he may not be the same, but
he is
Titans got a highway robbery with this one to pair him up with A.J. Brown. That's gonna be sweet.
Yes, sir. Tyreek Hill moving on to the Dolphins.
Dude,
Kansas
that's
City
crazy.
Kansas City Chiefs receiving the 2022 picks, and they got a whole stinking lot of them. And then 2023, they got 2 of them.
Yeah.
So,
who do you think won the trade, Cade? Who do you think won it?
Right now, Tyreek or the Dolphins.
Yeah.
But if KC drafts someone or 2 guys that are just going to be studs, then it's worth it in the end.
Yeah. Keisha Heffron's crying, but they say the Chiefs should sign to Javian Clowney, 1, then get a wide receiver and a cornerback or a safety in the draft. Like we talked about this a little earlier. Same with the Packers. The Chiefs picked the right year to trade a receiver. The receiver draft is super deep. They get either of the Ohio State boys. If they want a bigger guy, they can get George Pickens, which I think would be really good, opposite Juju. If they want speed, they can get Jameson Williams. Granted, he's not going to be healthy for a while. And 2 first-round picks is going to be huge for them this year. So they definitely, if this is the right year to trade a wide receiver for both Green Bay and Kansas City, except Kansas City got a crazy amount of stuff back, and then Miami decided to make Tyreek the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL with all that money they had. So, sure.
Yep, for sure. Last one in the biggest trades right here, Matt Ryan to the Colts. Listen, guys, this is what the Colts said. Carson Wentz just didn't fit us. He just wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
I think they could have stated it better, but
who would you have rather had, Matt Ryan or Carson Wentz?
Matt Ryan.
How did the Colts trade 2/3 for get 2/3 for trading Carson Wentz and then only giving up 1/3 for Matt Ryan? I know that his contract was big and the Falcons needed it off the books, but that's another steal. Only trading 1/3 for Matt Ryan. I know his stats weren't great last year, but he also kind of had nobody to throw to outside of Cordero Patterson because Julio was gone and Calvin Ridley was gone.
Yeah,
so
and he still rakes up the stats.
Yeah,
like this man is great.
It's good
every year in passing yards. Usually up there in the passing TDs. And it's not like he's like throwing 30 picks a year like Jameis Winston. I mean, he's not Aaron Rodgers, but he's still decently
efficient. He's a solid veteran. Oh, yeah.
So I'm taking him any day over Carson Wentz.
And he gets Jonathan Taylor.
Right. And the way he performs when he has no receivers is still amazing.
Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah.
It's a decent year. Oh, yeah. What were you about to say, though? You hope what?
I was just going to say, I really hope Aaron Rodgers plays like Matt Ryan does when he has no receivers.
Wow. I'm saving that sentence as a quote. We're going to put that on the main page.
Oh, no. No, but I'm playing. We have receivers. We're fine. Unless they all get injured this year.
Right.
Yeah. Matt Ryan, the Colts won this thing.
Yeah.
Like, man,
for sure.
Oh, man.
For sure.
Oh, man. AJ, we're almost wrapping it up, but lastly here.
Yep.
AJ, do you just want to run through these real fast?
Let's do it. Best available free agents left. We're just going to say their name, why they're free agent, and then our best spot for them real quick. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it. Number 1, Jarvis Landry is still looking for a deal. There was a whole debacle where he got cut by the Browns. He was told he was allowed to seek trades, but then they got Deshaun Watson, and so he fired his agent because there's a theory that his agent didn't tell him that they were going to get Deshaun because then he probably would have wanted to stay. Anyway, he's a free agent. Cade, where do you think Jarvis could go?
Seattle.
Ooh. Wait, Lockett and DK and Jarvis? Just give Drew Lock everything?
Maybe. Might be nice for Drew Lock. Might take a little bit off his shoulders. I think that'd be cool.
I've heard the Saints are one of the biggest teams out looking for him right now, which that'd be nice to pair him up with Michael Thomas. Okay. I think that'd be a good duo.
There you go.
Another one, Odell Beckham Jr. Keisha Heffron is hoping that maybe the Chiefs get Odell instead, but personally, I think Odell's best chances is he goes back to the Rams, especially since he's not going to be there this year.
He has to. He just won a Super Bowl with them.
Right.
And he didn't even play the whole time.
Yeah.
Dude, this team definitely has like one of the best chances to make a run for it again this year.
Yeah. And especially if they do sign him, Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, and Odell Beckham Jr. would be the best trio in the league. Like that's not even close. That is talent out the wazoo. But moving on, are you surprised the Chiefs didn't bring back Tyrann since we're on the thing? So are you surprised they didn't re-sign him? Because he was willing to take a lesser contract. He was willing to take the Justin Reed contract. And then 2, where do you think he goes now?
I think the Chiefs just wanted the younger guy. And Justin Reed played pretty outstanding last year.
Yeah, granted on Houston, so he got overshadowed by the rest of the team's success.
Yeah, true. So Tyrann, I don't know, man. I'd like to see him come to the Packers. That would be amazing. Really, I don't know where Tyrann's going to go.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd want to go somewhere like the Texans or the Jaguars.
No, he'd want to be on a contender. Yeah,
but yeah, we'll just say my Packers because I like Tyrann Mathieu, even though it's not like our biggest need.
Right. Yeah. It'd be really interesting to see. I think there's a possibility he goes to Minnesota and hooks up with, Patrick Peterson again. But I know Philadelphia is looking to sign him, which would be really big because their front seven is a little scary. So to bolster that secondary would be really good for a team that's looking to win the division this year. But on another one, Melvin Gordon is still a free agent. And granted, this isn't the deepest running back draft outside of top 4. Where do you think, what team could use a veteran running back in Gordon who's still got some legs left in him?
The Falcons.
That's wrong.
Falcons will take anyone. That's
wrong.
That's true.
Yeah, to me, it's really hard to find a team that needs running back right now because a lot of teams are using so many committees at this point for Melvin Gordon. So, if I think about it, maybe someone to pair with Indianapolis just in case he's going to take a backup role, just in case Jonathan Taylor gets injured or somewhere else that could use a dual threat. But it's going to be tough. It's really interesting to figure out where he'll go because I thought it was a decent one too in Denver. But one of the biggest ones is Julio still out. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Colts, go get him. Go pair him back with Matt Ryan again. Have a big guy opposite Pittman. You'll be fine. What do you think?
Yeah. That's
simple.
But I wanted Julio.
Yeah, I know you did. To me, it makes way too much sense for him to go to Indianapolis. I'm just like, it's just, please do it already. Last few, we got Jadeveon Clowney, more than likely will go back to Cleveland. I know Keisha Heffron is thinking about possibly Kansas City, but I feel like Cleveland just would be perfect. Sign him on a nice little 3-year deal.
Yeah. And then we got Gronk. Is he going to even return? We don't know.
I don't know. But he's going to go back to Tampa if he does come back, right?
Yep. Because it's Brady.
Yeah, exactly.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep. Well, that is our major offseason wrap-up. Everything that you missed in NFL free agency. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think, how you felt about your team's offseason. We're going to post a video later about how we felt about the Packers and Bears offseason this year. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Let us know of any questions or comments or concerns that you have regarding the NFL. I'd be happy to talk about it. Final question from Keisha Heffron. What do you think about Colin Kaepernick getting back in the league? He was thrown to Jarvis Landry, had a pro workout day, said he's willing to take a backup. You think this is the year he maybe gets back?
That would be hilarious.
It'd be interesting.
I'm not disrespecting Colin Kaepernick or anything. I mean, he was great.
Yeah.
And I still enjoy watching my brothers and your brother play Madden with Colin Kaepernick. And what year?
Oh, yeah. 2013. What it was. Yeah.
13, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But, if he takes a really low contract and doesn't mind being a backup, I think it's all cool. Why not bring him back?
Yeah, I'd sign him if I was probably most other teams, if I'm looking for a nice backup. I know the Saints got Andy Dalton. A lot of other teams have a nice number 2, but If I'm
Packers.
Chargers, I wouldn't
Spoiler
mind having Kaepernick behind Justin Herbert.
Packers? Spoiler alert?
You've just given up on Jordan Love, haven't you?
Jordan Love is never going to be anything.
No. Wow. Okay. Well, we're going to move on. Keith Sheffrin's got the last two things. She agrees with us that the Colts should sign Julio. Absolutely 100%. Baker should go to the Seahawks. I don't know. They just got Drew Lock. I don't know if Baker wants to.
No.
I don't think that's a good fit. But final question for you, Cade. Bold prediction. Packers losing Devontae, Bears being bad. Do you think the Vikings take the division with a new head coach and they don't have to explain why they would rank ahead of the Lions? It's not out of the realm of possibility. The Vikings have surprised us before, but I think it'll take them a year to learn the new offense under their head coach. So I think next year they have a better chance, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
The Vikings are not going to take the division over the Packers. It's just not going to happen. It's just not.
With that statement, we will see you guys next time on the Allied Rivals podcast.
This person?
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Leave a comment below. Let us know what we should do next. Keisha Efron, Jaden Kingsley, thank you guys so much.
Keisha's acting like a Vikings fan. What is this?
Thank you so much for dropping by. We'll see you guys next time on the one and only Allied Rivals
Can we
podcast.
ban people from the chat?
We're going to go. Goodbye. Caedmon's about to fight. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.